in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Normally when I'm going through Notion's latest features, if you're reading the title of this video, I just want to talk about some of the new features that Notion has come out with recently. There's been a bunch of updates over the last month or so, and I wanted to share them with you. And again, normally I would go through these ahead of time and prepare the video and pre-record the video, but I thought it would be fun to come hang out here and go through it together so you can kind of watch me learning Notion for the first time. I probably will make a more polished video about this later once I've had more time to go in and actually figure out what I want it to look like and the examples that I want to share with you. But today, my goal, I've been wanting to clean up my personal Notion dashboard for a while now. And so I thought it would be fun to do that live and go through it together. Let me share my screen here and walk you through Notion's latest features. There we go. Okay, cool. This is popping up properly. All right, so I am just looking at this now for the first time. I haven't really had a chance to go through this. Using Notion over the last month or so, I have seen a bunch of changes and different things pop up. And so I wanted to test them out for real and start to implement them into my Notion workflow so I can show you how you might be able to use it for yours. And this video is not going to be like my regular videos. It's not going to be a super tutorial style video because when I do those, I have more time to learn exactly how everything works and create those specific examples. You're just literally going to be watching me go through it for the first time, playing around with it, and at the same time cleaning up my personal content dashboard for what's going out every month and what content needs to be created. But let's just kind of quickly scroll through some of their new features. So this came out mid-March. It is now early April if you are watching this live. And they've added a bunch more filtering and view options. And I've seen this as I'm playing around with Notion, but it's really cool to be able to actually play with it and actually use it and not just see it, but do something with it and use it in my own workflow. So they've added this cool filtering ability. Again, I haven't tested this much. I'm going to test it today. I'm going to walk through my Notion setup. Filters were there before, but they've now made them easier to use, which is cool. More advanced filters, and then being able to filter but not necessarily save that across the board so it doesn't change for everyone. Because I have a small team, and for me, I typically tell my team, don't touch the filters. I have them set up a specific way because I use linked databases a lot. So I don't want them going in there and changing things because then it changes it for everybody and then I have to go back in and adjust it back or even try to figure out what I wanted it to look like originally. But now you're able to filter and sort, but it's not going to save unless you choose to save it, which is cool because you can go in and try different filters or add different filters, and it's not going to affect everything across the board. Then let's look at some of these other filters here. Views from existing databases. This is super cool. So you're able to, let's see what this does here. You're able to copy views. Is that what it's doing here? Let's see here. Create custom views to the same database across multiple pages. You'll see a new option to select a data source whenever you add a new view, allowing you to embed custom synced copies of existing databases into your workspace. Copy an existing view instantly. That's really cool. Because in the past, I take one database. For example, today I'm going to be looking at my content database, which shows all the different pieces of content that I'm creating and ideas that I have for content. And I will take all of that and then I will use linked databases to display that database multiple times, which is really helpful for me to just basically view different pieces of data from that same database in different ways. So for example, I might have one list of just my content ideas. I might have another list of content that's ready for review. I might have another list of all the content that's going live this month. And I will use the same database, but just have it showing up in different ways. Show content from multiple databases within a single view block. This I love, and I actually already have a use case in mind for this. Being able, your views before used to kind of have to, like, they were hidden. You saw one view and then you'd kind of forget the other ones existed, and it was harder to switch back and forth. This shows you all of your views right when you are looking at your database or your linked database. You can quickly click to just switch back and forth. I wasn't really using of different views a lot before. I found it just kind of, it's cumbersome. I hate saying that because it's really just like one click away, but there was something slightly cumbersome about having that one extra step. And this shows the importance of user experience in design, because that one click prevented me from using this feature because it just didn't seem like a good fit. But having things visible all the time, that's huge. Having these different views visible, you can click back and forth easily. Discover and switch views with tabs, love it. Customize databases views from a single menu, that's really cool. Hide the database title. Ooh, this is another good one because I am always creating my own database titles. I will make like a heading 2 and then give it a background, and that's my database title. Because I am showing different versions of that database all the time, I don't want to use the default title because it doesn't explain what I'm actively showing. So those are kind of like the big ones I wanted to talk about. The Notion API came out, which is very cool. That means there's going to be a lot more tools that can integrate with Notion. That's going to be huge going forward in the future of Notion and what that means for people who use Notion. It's about to become, it's going to basically be able to connect with so many other tools, and people are going to be able to add on to Notion, add cool functionality to Notion, and make it connect with other tools that you're using. So very, very cool. Some exciting features happening here. Let's dive into my Notion because I want to play around with this. I kind of get the vibe here of all the different things I can do, and I'm going to keep this open in case I want to refer back to it at any point in the future. But for now, I am feeling pretty good about testing this out for myself and creating my own weekly planner. So I actually, right before this video, sort of destroyed my weekly planner. I didn't mean to, but as I was going through, I accidentally like deleted a bunch of stuff. Let's see if I can get it back. Yeah, I deleted a bunch of stuff. I was playing around with this and I just like went through and cleaned it out, and this was a fully designed template, and I'm kind of sad I deleted it, but I actually just wanted to start from scratch and build it out from scratch, because every once in a while I feel like it's a good best practice to kind of clean up your Notion database or your Notion databases, and that's what I'm going to do today. So I am just going to get rid of basically everything in here and start from scratch. Oh, look how sad. This template was so pretty and now it's ruined. That's okay though. It's going to come all back together. It's going to come full circle, and I'm going to bring it all back together today. So I'm going to delete this as well. So now we're just back to a blank template. And yes, I probably should have duplicated this first and started from scratch rather than literally deleting my weekly planner. But you know what? It's fine. I feel like I'm in the mood to kind of break things down and build it back up again. So now I'm going to just, I made these little headers here. These are just H2s. So if you wanted to create this, you can just type in / brings up the menu, H2, brings heading, press enter, and I can type in, any heading that I want. And then what I like to do is just give it a little background here. So I'm just going to give it a background color, and I'm giving them blue backgrounds right now. Just to kind of, I like that color. It looks good by design. And I'm going to give this a 2-column layout. So I'm going to drag one of these next to the other. I got asked this question the other day about how you create these 2-column layouts, and you want to grab the 6 dots to the left of any element, and then you can click and drag, and you want to drag it all the way over to the side, and see that little blue line there on the side. Sorry, I have to move out of the frame to see it because I've got a tripod in my face here. But if you drag it next to the side and you see that little blue line, the little vertical blue line, click and drag, and that creates the side heading here. So it just kind of gives you the ability to style it, to move it around if you want to. And what I actually want to do is have these fall underneath here. So I want the 2 columns, a left column and a right column. Then in this one, at some point, I'm going to put, I might at the top left, just kind of want notes for Galen. Over here, I'm going to have my content calendar, where I actually want a calendar, and then I might drag this under here too. Let's see what I want. Let's see. Let's do content ideas. Let's do content to review. And then if I want to copy this, if I just double click copy, Command C, I'm on a Mac, and Command paste, it's going to paste it without the background. But what I can do instead is I can click these 6 dots on the left, and it highlights that whole row. And now if I paste it, it pastes the entire thing with the blue background, just saves me a little extra time. And then I can drag it under there to align everything. Okay, so content to review. Let's do this month's content. And I might add more to this later. For this section here, I want this to literally just be like a to-do list. This is just going to be, I don't want this to be an actual database. This is just going to be like my notes. And what's really cool is if at some point I wanted to like drag this into a task list, I could do that too. I'm actually going to copy this. Oops, just click it, highlight it, copy it, and then paste that here. This is going to be weekly tasks. And maybe I'll have to decide how I want to do this later. I might play around with my layout here. Do I want that to go above here? There's really so many different options for how I can style this and how I can design it. So this section is going to be a checkbox. This section, I think I'm going to eventually pull in my content. But for now, I'm going to start with a linked database. And, there it was, content plan. And the default view, it looks like it gave me a board view here, and it's pulling in all of this content. And this is pulling in like content from the past year. So I do not want this as of right now. I want content ideas. And the way I want this listed is I'm going to add a view. And, this is different. Let's see here. Oh, can I see? This is like the fun part. I am able to kind of like play around with what this looks like. Let's see here. View, no data source. So you can have, I can have different databases pulled into views for this same section here. This is crazy. This is like, again, this is why it's important to dive in. Okay, so I actually don't need a new view for this. I'm going to delete the view. But for this board, I'm going to edit this view. I want to keep it pulling to content. Whoa, this is very different and very cool. So I actually really like the list view. And I'm going to hide the database title because I already know it's the content plan. I have my own title here. I don't need that second title. This is super interesting. So I'm able to edit this view and have multiple views from different databases. This is so exciting. Okay, hide the database title, view it as a list. I'm loving these new features. Let's see here, property, one shown for now. Let's filter. I guess I can filter here, or what happens if I filter there? Oh, I can filter. I wonder if this applies to all the views and then this applies to just this view. That is very interesting. So I am going to, let's see here, filter by status is idea. And then I'm also going to show the property. I have to clean out my properties too, as I'm always trying to come up with the best possible way to, this is so interesting, to show Notion and to teach people how to use Notion. I experiment a lot. So I'm always creating things and changing how I do things so that way I can show you the best possible way to do it, or just a few different ideas for ways to do it. So filter, status, idea. This is interesting, and then I can hide it. And then I also want to show the property planner dates. No, I want to show the property scheduled. Okay, cool. And then I also want to show status idea and where scheduled is unchecked. There we go. Now I can see the content ideas that I currently have, and I can see whether or not they have been scheduled. And I'm only showing ones that haven't been scheduled. So I guess I don't even really need that checkbox because these should all be unscheduled. I'm trying to think how I want to use this. Again, I'm crafting this from scratch, and I kind of wanted to start from scratch on purpose so I could just let my mind run free and see how I want to build this. I still do have the original template saved somewhere because it's inside of the Creator Club, but I still wanted to play around with this. Okay, so if it's scheduled unchecked, I don't really need that. We know their ideas, so I don't need the idea thing here. Maybe I will then hide that property. Let's see what other properties I have in here. Again, I need to go clean some of these out. Let us see. Status is obvious. Timeline. Scheduled. Let's hide that for now. We don't need that. Let's just do the ideas for now. And then if I click filter, that's cool. It actually like hides this little filter thing here. This is really interesting. And I can rename this view. Let's call this ideas. Oh, I am loving this. Okay, so before I would have to have a ton of extra linked databases because it was more difficult to kind of click back and forth, but this makes it super easy. Maybe I'll do this, actually. Let's try this. If I click this, let's duplicate this view and call this one recorded list. And then I'm going to filter. Let's see if the filters, okay, the filters are different. Maybe. Let's try this. Okay, so status instead of idea. Status is recorded. So let's make sure that this is different. So this one is still idea, and this one is recorded. Okay, cool. So now I can see content ideas, content recorded, and I actually need to add one more filter here. And the filter needs to be, I only want this to show videos or podcasts. Not anything else, because that's kind of like the main content that I'm creating right now is their videos or podcasts. And maybe even, let's see here. Yeah, that's fine. I want to do video podcast. I might even add like a TikTok / like reel idea on here. But I'm going to not do that for now. And I'm going to also add that filter here. So add a filter, and this channel I want it to be YouTube or podcast, so that way it's not showing me like Instagram stuff like that. Recorded. Then let's duplicate this again. Oh, they start to get hidden. That's interesting. Edited. No. Okay, good. That looks good. Filter. This one should be edited, and let's duplicate it again. Ready to schedule. And then filter. Oh, I guess I forgot these ones too. I have content created, approved, and ready to schedule. Content created, approved, ready to schedule. Let's just do ready to schedule for now because that's kind of the main one that I use. So hide this filter. So I don't love that they get like hidden in this drop down. That makes it less user friendly for me. Not that that's a bad thing. I just like, if I'm going to use this versus seeing them here, I'm only going to keep it to a couple because I want it to be, I don't like want one to be hidden there. So let's delete this. For right now, I'm going to have content ideas recorded edited. Yeah, I like that. I think that looks good. The other thing I might do is if instead I want to do it, I don't have any recorded and edited videos right now. They've all already like gone through the process, but I do have a couple ideas for videos. The other thing I might do, let's try this. I'm going to delete these. Again, we're just like playing here and I'm creating a few different scenarios. Add a view. Hang on, I'm going to not add a view. I'm going to duplicate this view. Let's call this one status. And instead of a list, let's do it as a board. And then card preview none, card size small. No, medium's fine. Let's do medium. Group by, and we want to group by, for me, the status. I want to hide no status for now. And then this way, I can move ideas over. So under, let's call this content ideas again. Under content ideas, now I can add a list of ideas. And the cool thing is, because I have these filters, status idea, status unchecked, channel, YouTube, podcast, when I go to create a new one here, and I click, video or podcast, whatever it is, you can see it already has the idea and it already has the channel set. And that just makes it easy to do that. And I also have these templates down here that I've created. So like if I click video, it's going to create that. And it creates this little template here. Let's delete this. If I were to choose podcast, it brings up my podcast template, and I'd obviously have to change it so it doesn't say YouTube video up there. But it's kind of cool that you can create this. I'm going to delete this one. So now I've got ideas and status, so I can say like, here's some ideas, and then when I'm ready to move them over to status, I can see that here too. Tasks I'll add in later. Content to review. Let's do that one. I'm actually going to, let's see if I can just copy this whole thing and paste it here. There we go. I've created another one. Let's do the same thing here. And I want to see now, if I edit this, does it affect this? I'm going to assume it does not. These two should be completely independent from one another, but it's still like interesting to see what that looks like and play around with that a little bit. Okay, so, and if you're watching live, say hello in the comments. And let me know if you like this style of video. This is my first time kind of doing just like a play with Notion with me, rather than like a strictly tutorial video. This one is more exploratory in nature, and it's a little different than what I normally do. So it's fun to play with. Okay, so for this content to review, I'm going to rename this to review. And then I obviously have to change these filters. So status is content is edited, content is created. These two are the big ones. If it's edited, I need to review it. And if the blog post and all that has been created, I need to review that as well. And I'm just going to include some of these other ones in there too. Okay, and let's get rid of status. I don't think we need this. Okay, cool. So as you can see, I deleted it from here. It obviously did not affect the one above. So now I can see what content is in review. And then for this one, let me just double check what I did here. I am going to filter this, and I am going to, I guess I should keep scheduled as unchecked. Let's do another one that is recently scheduled. And I'm going to, again, click those 6 dots, ignore the pop-up, Command C, Command V. Whoops, this is, I want it to fit right under there. There we go. For this one, this is gonna be recently scheduled. And then I am going to keep it as a list, but I need to change my filters. Instead of scheduled as unchecked, I want scheduled as checked. And then I also want, let's see this, the publish date is, ooh, this is totally different. You used to have to do this by filtering before, is within. Ooh, can I do like a add to advanced filter? Let's see here, is within. Ooh, see, I want to set it, let's try advanced filter. Publish date is within, I don't want a custom range. I want the past month, and publish date is within the next month. There we go. And scheduled is checked. Status is, I don't really care what the status is. Can I get rid of that? Let's see here. Channel, YouTube, podcast. Okay, 2 rules. There should be some here, so now I have to check. Oh, I have to check and see what's causing this to not show content. Where publish date, right? Publish date is within the past month. And, oh, whoops. Or, there we go. Figured that one out. So sometimes if you get stuck, it's just a matter of not having read the content properly or read your filters properly. So this shows me content that has been scheduled in the last month and content that's coming up in the future. So for these ones, ideas, I'm never going to have scheduled them. But for these 2, I want to show the property scheduled, the scheduled checkbox. There it is. Show and view. There it is. Same thing for this one. Even though these are all going to be unchecked and these are all going to be checked, what's cool, and I can test this in a minute, properties, schedule. And let's actually put the publish date in here. Oh, I like how they grouped this at the top. I always like to do scheduled last because the publish date can vary in length. Like some days are written out longer than others, whereas the scheduled checkbox is always going to go at the end. So now you can see these are all checked, these are all unchecked. This show it tutorial, if I check it off, boom, there we go. Now it's going to pop down here, and if I uncheck it, it's going to go back up there. This is like a perfect example of why I love linked databases, because you can literally watch content jump between different views based on the parameters that you have set. So having this checkbox here, even though these are all going to be unchecked, these are all going to be checked. It's really cool to be able to check from one side and then watch it jump to the other. So now I can go through and say I reviewed this content and it looks good. Then it will go to the next thing. The other one thing I have to check here, status, I want to get rid of this too, because I don't care what kind of content it is. I want to see all of the content, and then I can actually sort by channel. And let's sort by channel descending. So now it's going to show me all the content that I need to review because it hasn't been scheduled yet. And then this is recently scheduled content. Again, I'm going to go into filters. Let's get rid of this channel thing here. It's going to show me all the content scheduled within the last month. And then I would like it to, and let's actually check up here as well. I want this one to show publish date, show and view, back. I like to put it first. This looks good. And then when I sort, add sort, publish date first. There we go. So now I can see like this piece of content. I think this, I have to double check. That might have actually gone live. So this is good. This is good. This needs to be sorted by, let's do publish date and then sort by channel. So it's going to show me, let's have it show me my most recent content first. So here's what's been scheduled already over the next month. This is very exciting for me because I'm pretty much done with my my April content. I am scheduling now. I have one more video that's going to go out like May 5th or something like that. But like, this is very exciting. I love having this content done. And then again, if I need to go through, I can like click into these and see what the content is. And I can schedule it and move it to the next setting. The other thing I might want to put in here, properties, is the status. And let's see here, show and view, back, and then let's move the status so it can go status, publish date, scheduled. So now I can see what content's ready to schedule and what content is created. Just kind of a helpful way to see, and I can see like which ones have dates and which ones don't. I don't really need to know the status of these because if they're checked scheduled, that means they are already, they either have gone live or they're going to go live. Cool, so this is actually like really starting to come together. I like being able to see what content I need to look at that maybe hasn't been scheduled yet but can be scheduled. And let's just double check edited, content created, ready to schedule. We'll include approved in there too. And then like how much money I spent on my web design business. I think this actually is already scheduled. Let's see here. This is scheduled, how to start a web design business. That one I have not done yet. I'll have to go through these later. Same thing here. I just want to make sure I'm not going to miss anything. Status, recorded. I don't really care what. I don't need to review recorded content because that just means I've gone through it. Ready to schedule. Status, don't care. Channel, don't care. I just need to make sure it's published from the last month or the next month and that it's checked off. Awesome. I am loving how this is coming together. The next thing I want to do, there's actually probably one more. This is okay. This should actually work because this should show me all the content and I can see which content has a date and which one doesn't. And then I'm going to show you something else very cool. Okay, so let's create another. I'm like all about copying these. We're just going to copy these as much as possible. And actually, hang on. Content to review. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. And then again, this should be totally independent from the other one. So I am going to rename this to publish date. And I am going to change this to a calendar view. I don't want to show the title still. Go back. And for this, I don't care if it's scheduled or not scheduled. I don't care what the status is. I just want to, and let's see here, sort. We're not going to sort either. We're going to, I want to see calendar, filter, 3 filters back. There, I want to make sure this is pulling in the correct date. You should have, they moved this. So again, I'm trying to see here, source content plan, that's fine. Layout, calendar, sort, here we go. Show calendar by. I want publish date. There we go. So now when I look at my content calendar for April, I can see what's going live every week. Now the next thing I want to do is, oh, wait. I forget I can do this. I keep forgetting because this is brand new in Notion. I can right click on this, duplicate. This one's going to be called planner dates. And this I want to, nope, where'd it go? Layout, calendar by planner dates. So one of these dates is, let's actually, this one needs to get cleaned out. This should not have a planner date in it. Let's get rid of this and clear. There we go. So this is going to be blank for now. So publish date shows me what content is going live over the next month. And I actually want to check properties. And then I want to show the scheduled checkbox. Let's see how this shows up in here. Oops, properties. Getting used to how this works. Click the little eyeball there. It's going to show me what content has been. Oh, this is very exciting. When I look at my content calendar, I can see all the content that's going live over the next month. and I can see if there's any pieces of content that haven't been scheduled. I like to have an email, a blog post, and a video go live about every Tuesday. It's not always super accurate. Like here's another one. Let's see what this one is. Web designer, should I learn to code? This one should have an email associated with it, and I will have to check to see if that's in there. That one should have an email. This one should have an email. So it looks like the emails haven't been assigned a date yet. And I can go into the project for this month and actually check that out and see if that is working. So looks like, oh, good. We have some people watching in the comments. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining in today. I am just literally exploring Notion's new features. This is very casual, very low key. I just wanted to share with you some of Notion's newest features and walk through them and experience them for the first time. Have you kind of watched me experience them for the first time? I will make more polished videos later about how to do this and how to set all of this up, but I thought it would be really cool to kind of like learn the features and see them together for the first time and show you some of the ways that you might be able to use them in your business. So looking at this, it shows me that I have a podcast going live on the, or that was actually this week. That's fine. I didn't send an email for that one. So that's actually correct. But then next week I have a podcast and a YouTube video. I still need an email. Then the following week I have a YouTube video. There should be a podcast and an email there too. And then same thing with the 26th, I'm missing an email. I think those are actually written, but they haven't gone out yet. So let's see here. Web designer, learn to code. That was this last week. How much? This one is how much I spend every month to my web design or as a web design business. Let's see. I don't see an email for that one. I might have to create that one still. This is the video for this one. This should have an email for it. Starting a web design business in 2022. Let's see if this is the correct one. Do I need to learn to code? I'm going to add that in here. Learn to code. And then I am going to, this is my favorite part. So I know that this video has an email associated with it. And here's the email. I can just drag that here and boom, now you see over here, a date was added. So it never actually left over here, but because these are the same database, I am able to drag content from one to the other. So now the podcast actually already went live for this one, but the video and the email are going live on the 19th. Then I have this one here. Ways to make passive income as a web designer. That is right here. It doesn't have a date yet, but it should. There we go. So now I can see all of this coming together. Let's check this one too. Does this one have an email? It does. How much I spend every month in my web design business. Let's check that one. I guess this was actually from last month, so I'm going to add this to April because it's going to go out in April. And then let's see here. Publish date. I just want to check and see what is the status on this one. Status approved. How much I make every month in my web design business. So see how I'm not seeing that over here? Maybe it's down here, ready to schedule. I don't see that email. So that to me, this is like helpful as you're going through and kind of like troubleshooting, because once you get all this set up, you don't really have to edit it that much, but you still want to make sure you're setting it up properly. So I want to make sure. That is why I got approved, recorded, edited. These all look good. So I'm trying to look at why the email for this one isn't showing up. Oh, it looks like it's already scheduled. The YouTube video is already scheduled, but let's check the email. March 22, April 22. And I want to set the publish date for April 12th. And I'm going to see. Oh, it was already checked as scheduled too. Perfect. So that's in there, scheduled. Email, YouTube video, email, podcast, YouTube video, email, podcast, YouTube video. And then next month, there's the Show It tutorial. This one does not have a blog post or a podcast or an email yet, that's okay. But now it's kind of showing me that I know that I need to add that. So this is my content calendar, right? This shows me what's going live, and obviously I'm posting every single Tuesday. I do schedule Instagram posts in here as well, but typically I'll do more like bigger pieces of content or pieces of content that are promoting the different things that are going live in my content calendar. But if like I'm just writing off the cuff Instagram posts, I will typically do that just in Planoly. I don't really worry too much about it. I'm not a big fan of being super structured about how I post content to Instagram. I probably should be better about it, but usually I'll sit down like once every couple weeks and just write out a bunch of posts for the next following weeks. And those are more like general fun kind of posts. But Reels are taking off right now, which they have been for a long time. And so I feel like kind of lame spending time writing static posts when Instagram doesn't seem to really care about photo posts anymore, or carousel posts even. All they want are reels, which is fine, but those take longer to create in my mind. And I just like, it's not my favorite type of content. I'm playing around maybe just like doing 30 days of TikTok. Like, I don't know. I'm just up in the air about that. My main thing is I want to make sure I'm sending an email out pretty much every week, posting to my blog, posting to my YouTube channel. Like those are the main focuses for me right now, because I can't focus on everything. You can't focus on everything. We have to pick and choose what we want to prioritize in our business. And for me right now, that's YouTube. That's kind of like the main thing, because it's SEO friendly. The content I create today continues to bring people into my business 6 months from now, which is so cool. Whereas Instagram Reels that I create, they might blow up one day, but then the next week, they're not really getting any more traffic. So while that can be a great way to get quick wins in business and to connect with people and to create that like ongoing engagement, I really like Instagram stories, and I like posting to my feed when I feel motivated to, because I don't think it helps that much right now. And I might try TikTok too, but I will plan out some of that in here. I have like I could post like my TikTok ideas in here and then schedule those out. But I have my published calendar, but then I also have my planner calendar, and I will show you what this kind of looks like. But my planner calendar, this is where I look at what is the content that I want to create over the next month. And when am I going to put time in my calendar to actually create that content? And for me, I reserve Tuesdays as much as possible for content creation. Tuesdays is my content creation day, but I like to look at like, what am I working on every week? And so I will come over here to my ideas, and this is the planner date. So I have published date and planner date. This is, if I come over here, I can take this, drag it to my calendar, and I'm just going to put it, that's the week that I want that on. Let's see here. This one, I'm going to put this here too, and I'm just going to drag them out over the whole week, and that way I can like actually read the headings on them. This is not changing the schedule date for these ideas. This is just saying, you know, the week of the 11th, I'm going to record these 2 YouTube videos. Then, you know, I try to record every other week. Then the week of the 25th, I'm going to record this video, and I'll come up with another idea that I want to do that. And I like doing it this way, because when I come in here every day and kind of check like, okay, what are the tasks that I'm working on? What are the tasks that my team is working on? I can come in here and kind of see, what's going live this month? What are we missing? What's going live? Like every Wednesday, I'll typically check and see like what's going live the following week. I just like to know. And then if I come in here to planner dates, I can see like, all right, when it's Tuesday and I go to sit down to record, and I, figure out, what's my video setup going to be? What am I going to be talking about this week? I come in here and I look at, here's my ideas that I have. And then I can see exactly where they fit on here. Then when I click over to status, again, I just set this all up, so this is really cool. Once I have this set up, and I actually need to fix this because these idea to approved does not make any sense. So let's see here, properties, and then idea, let's see, status, that's what we're looking for, status. Did I miss that in here? Show and board. Status, we want to change this. So this is interesting. idea, recorded, edited, content created, approved. There we go. Okay, cool. So I can just drag them around here. I was trying to figure out, it should go. Typically, Notion does this automatically where it puts them in the correct order, but that's fine. Idea, recorded, then edited. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Idea recorded, so it gets recorded by me, then it gets edited by my team, then the content gets created by my team. So I'm not even actually writing most of my blog content anymore. I create the videos myself. I write like the outlines for the videos. All of that is me. But because the blog posts, 99% of the blog posts that I'm creating now are just the written version, the written overview of my video. So I've actually outsourced that piece of it too. Edited, content created, and then ready to schedule. I don't have a scheduled status because that's what that checkbox is for. So if I come over here, when I am ready to move this over, I can move it over here and it's going to drop down to my other, so for example, if I bring this over to edited, it just popped into the review down here. I'm going to undo that change because I didn't mean to do that, but it's cool. All these little databases on the left here, these are all the same database. And by moving this, if I record it, it should stay. Hang on. Let's see here. Status is edited, content created, ready to schedule, approved. Let's check this one. Oh, this one should just be ideas. That's fine. If I take it, that's right. If I move it to recorded, it's obviously going to come off of here because this should just be ideas, but I can move it off of here to the next status. And then I'm going to be able to see that that's no longer an idea. So it's going to pop off this list. The other thing I might want to add is, let's see here. Oops, I keep wanting to create one from scratch, but it's like, why would I create one from scratch when I can duplicate this? Let's create an in progress one. And this one is going to be status recorded, edited. That looks good. Okay, cool. So now I can see I don't have anything that's recorded and edited and not scheduled right now. But yeah, now I can see I've got ideas and I've got in progress. And then if I want to change this, it should be now here. Perfect. And I'm actually going to change this and have this be idea recorded, edited. We'll show all the statuses for this one. So ideas, recorded, and maybe I'll just to make it even easier, let's just call this recorded status. And I'm going to move this one back, and now you're going to see it in that first row. This is a very complex version of this. Yours does not need to be anywhere near as complex as this when you're first getting started with Notion. I've been doing this for a while. At some point, I'm going to add my task database in here too, but I don't actually know what's in there. So before I pull it up on YouTube, I'm going to have to go through and just check that first. This is pretty complicated, but I just want to show you what this looks like and how you can use multiple databases that all connect together. So that way, when you move something from one, you are able to, you're able to see it pop up on another. Like if I check this checkbox, it's going to go down here. And if I uncheck it, it's going to go back to this list. And then I can see what ideas do I have, what has been recorded. And then if I need to change the status, I can come here and just drag those items across. And then I could even, if I wanted to, create another view and have a different, this is the board view, but I don't necessarily need to have this be a board view. If instead I wanted this to be a table view, I could do it this way too, and then I could change the status by simply clicking here. So let's actually try this for a second. I am going to get rid of some of these properties. There's a lot of unnecessary properties. Oh yes. We don't need channel. I don't need let's just clean out. This is a good reminder to me that I need to clean out all my attributes and all my properties that are in here. Publish date we don't need. Scheduled. Oops. Oh, I just unchecked status and I actually want status. But we don't need any of these other ones. Oh, this is actually a good one. I do want the project lookup. And yep, that's fine. Okay, so let's get rid of this too. So it's project name, then project status. There we go. So now, give that a little bit more space here. I'm able to check the status and see, you know, here's the post, the ideas that I have. Then I'm able to see what project it is part of. I create a new project for every month for my content creation. And then I can change the status just by clicking here too. So that's another way to do that. So many different ways to view content. Again, this is a pretty complex one, but it just sort of shows you all the different ways that you can create your own content calendar and jump back between different views. This is new. And sort and all of these different things. There's some really, really cool new features here. I'm excited to play around with them more. Let me know what specific questions you have so I can create tutorials about those things specifically. Because I could create tutorials about a lot of things, but I feel like it's always interesting to see what I struggle with, what I have questions about, and what you have questions about, because I am pretty confident with Notion at this point. And so for me, it might be a little bit different than what you're wondering or what you're dealing with when it comes to setting up Notion, or like what use cases you have for Notion in your personal life, in your business life. So let me know. I would love to hear from you in the comments of this video, of the replay if you're watching that too. I know this is a little longer than most of mine. We've almost been on here for an hour. That's crazy. But thanks for coming to hang out with me. I really appreciate having you here. I am so glad you could join me today. And yeah, I will hop off here in just a minute. And I will see you all in my next video. We've got a new one coming out on Tuesday. I can't wait to share it with you. If you watch this video, you probably saw what that video was. But I can't wait to share